Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
All right, y'all ready?
I'm ready.
She's like, I'm ready to go.
I'm born ready. I was born ready.
All right.
Bwaaa! Bwaaa tries to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Bwaaa, King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Still
Rusty.
It is Friday, and we have a guest.
Yeah, we do.
You want to introduce?
Yeah, so we have Summer. She's with us today.
Summer Shine.
Summer Shine.
You can add the Summer Shine.
Shine. I can have the Shine.
I had
we have
somebody-
Summer
Oh, yeah, you got
Shine.
to.
So Summer Shine is owner of Luna Juice Bar.
Yes.
Avid kayaker.
Avid.
Avid kayaker, yeah.
She's got a lot of color on her today.
I'm a little red.
She is a little red. Summer and I have known each other for a little bit now.
Okay.
Yeah, for a while. We've done a couple of shows together.
We
She's
have.
been ghosts. She's been guests on stuff. She's
And
been
also
and then
ghosts.
she ghosted us.
Yeah.
That's kind of a thing. But Summer is here for our Friday show.
Yep.
I had somebody call you. They said your name the other day. Who was it? I can't remember who it was. They said Summer Sunshine.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
That happens all the time. Really, I feel like my mom missed the mark on that. My middle name is
Yeah.
Corinne.
Yeah, it ought to be Sun, right?
Yeah, it's to be Summer Sunshine. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
going to go there,
You might as well go all the way there.
You should go all the way.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
This is what keeps me from, being like a $20 stripper to being like a $50 stripper. It's because that middle name thing. They're like, oh, your middle name's Corinne. Sorry.
Yeah.
Here's a
next,
20.
Next on the main stage,
Yeah.
Summer. Yeah, gotcha. Those ladies are working hard for you. Don't forget about their tips.
Just
No. All right. So we are here. Now, we have already covered this episode, but this is your favorite episode of King of the Hill.
it's, I would like to think it's the best episode.
You
of
think it's the
King of
best
the Hill.
episode?
I do. I absolutely do.
And so we're talking about episode Keeping Up with the Joneses. This is the one where everybody's smoking.
Everybody's
yeah, it's a
smoking.
smoking
Right.
episode.
It
Yeah.
is.
This is April 27th, 1997.
This is our second guest on this episode. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, that's true.
But this is the second time we've had a guest with this
We
episode.
had-
No way.
Yeah, Giovanni the King.
Yeah.
Okay.
That we had him on
Okay.
our.
He was here
Last time we did
during that episode.
Yeah, during the episode.
Okay.
You are extra special because you get to be here for the bonus Friday.
The
I
bonus
like bonuses
Friday.
and I like Fridays, so
Yeah.
I feel like it's the perfect thing
You
for
were
me.
born for this.
I was.
Yeah. So why is this your favorite episode?
Because I had a super similar experience with cigarettes, and this
Really?
one just always made me funny. And then I ended up being like Luann.
Yeah.
I'm like the Luann of the family.
Okay.
It's like, you shouldn't smoke. When I was like, what's really funny too is like I won an essay for DARE in 5th grade.
Dare.
Yeah, and then like
that's
the
awesome.
next year went to rehab, so it was kind of.
Dare works if you work it.
Yeah, that's a great juxtaposition. Yeah.
You're saying family smoked? Is
Yeah,
that
so none of my family did, but
Yeah.
my parents got a divorce when I was 10, as did everybody's. It was the,
mine didn't?
it was the 90s. Well,
They're still together.
Yeah, mine are still together too, unfortunately.
yeah, but
1,000.
you're 10 years older than I am. Can I
least.
remind you?
At least.
Hey, I'm 32 and my parents are still
Yeah,
together.
you're
They're still
10
married.
years younger. There
Yeah,
was
see.
a,
Okay,
there
you're right.
was
There was
an
a
gap.
age. Yeah,
There was an
there
age
was
gap.
this
I got you.
age where 50% of people were getting
Yeah.
marriages were ending in
Yeah.
divorce. It's
Yeah.
not like that anymore.
Well, I made up for it. So I'm on my third marriage. So
Yeah.
I made up for
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Well, my dad married 3 people too, so
All at once.
At the same time. yeah.
not at once, like one after the other,
In the same thought.
not on the same day, but
I have a work sister wife. We both have the same work husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
It works out well.
That's
I like it.
You can leave him behind and go off somewhere else.
Yes.
That's the nice
We have
part.
lots of fun together.
So my dad smoked. He smoked a pipe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my granddaddy smoked a pipe.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the coolest thing.
He smoked that black cherry stuff.
It
You know,
smells so good.
it did smell good, but after a while, you got tired of it.
Yeah, I like pipe tobacco. I'd rather smell pipe tobacco than cigarettes though all day.
Oh, sure.
I would much rather
Sure.
smell that. My parents smoked cigarettes, but it was like I grew up in the area where the windows would be rolled up and you'd be riding down the road and the whole car would just be
That was a thing.
What?
The station wagon
Coughing.
just
That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
back
station
in
wagon
Mike's
full of
day,
smoke.
not your day.
Nah, it was my day too. Yeah.
No, in mine the dinosaurs smoked. So how much did you smoke?
No.
Never?
One time.
Really?
And I
Oh,
got
wow.
so sick.
Wow.
I mean, I got sick, the same way that Bobby does, but Bobby kept on going back.
Yeah,
Not
Bobby
me.
loved it. I'm a Bobby. When I first smoked a cigarette, I was like 8 years old. We'd stole a cigarette from my friend's mom. One cigarette. We went in the backyard and smoked it and got green and puked everywhere. And then the next night, everybody goes to sleep. We go steal another cigarette, and I don't know why, but
It's the formaldehyde.
yeah, it's the
If
formaldehyde.
something keeps bringing you, keeps
Yeah.
you coming back, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend, when my parents got a divorce, my dad moved into an apartment complex, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world.
Sure.
Because we'd always lived in a house.
Yeah.
You know?
Had a pool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I met a little girl that lived there, and we hung out, and her mom worked overnights. And I'd get to stay the night over there.
Right.
And her mom kept a carton of cigarettes in the freezer. Did
I
y'all-
remember that,
You know
yeah.
people that kept carton of cigarettes? Yeah. So she
in
came
the
them
freezer
fresh.
or on the freezer?
No,
Oh,
in it.
inside the
Keeps them fresh.
freezer.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And she
I've heard of that.
smoked Camels, and those were real cool. You know, they had the Camel, Joe
Oh,
Camel
yeah.
on them back
Joe
in the day.
Camel.
They had Joe
Yeah.
Camel, and
Making cigarettes cool.
yeah, making cigarette, and he did.
No, he did
He
make
did
cigarettes
make
cool.
cigarettes very cool.
Did.
Incentivize. Well, that's when they incentivize smoking, given like the points, like a Marlboro
Oh,
points
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Like my friends' parents were real big into collecting the Marlboro stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
My parents are too poor to smoke Marlboros; they smoked cheap cigarettes. But my friends' parents were like religious about. Oh, make sure you peel that off before you throw that off.
Right.
And they had the jackets and the hoodies
Oh, yeah.
and the everything.
Yeah.
The backpacks. Yeah.
So
I remember all that
So
stuff.
she had them in the freezer.
She did, and she went to work, as per usual.
Yeah.
And me and my friend thought we were being super cool. I mean, we were so cool. We were like 12, and we each got 4 cigarettes and like put them between each like set of fingers,
Oh,
So we had
wonderful.
4 cigarettes lit at once.
Sure.
We're
Oh,
like
okay.
puffing on them.
Yeah.
We're not like smoking them. We're just like
If
putting smoke in
one's
our mouth.
cool,
Yeah.
I mean, 4
Yeah,
is
4
super
was awesome.
cool.
You should have
Yeah.
seen us there in the mirror.
Yeah.
We were sitting in
Yeah.
front of a mirror on,
Like smoking Vulcans.
yeah, like
You know,
smoking
yeah.
Vulcans.
Yeah.
Or
and
Edward
we're like,
cigarette hands.
Edward
you know,
cigarette.
yeah, Edward cigarette hands
There
is
you
exactly
go.
what it was. We're just puffing away on those things.
Yeah.
Well, her mom came home.
Like she's not going to miss them.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you don't even think about
For
that until
real.
they're gone.
Yeah.
And then you're
Well,
like,
it
oh,
was
shit.
the same thing with my mom's like vodka.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's not gonna miss this.
No.
And then the next day, I'm like, let me put some
Yeah,
water in it.
highly
Yeah, like that's gonna
invested.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's gonna work. So her mom came home and we're just in there, and it was, it's real clear when you've been smoking in an apartment.
Yeah,
You know?
real clear.
And and we had ashes everywhere and
Yeah,
still had a cigarette
yeah,
in our hands. And her mom was, y'all go to bed. I'll think of your punishment in the morning. You know.
Sure.
So we went to bed, and when she woke us up at 6 o'clock in the morning and had a pot of black coffee and just one pack of cigarettes, just one pack. And she made us light them. And then she was like, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
When you put it in your mouth, then you go, and so I did that a couple of times, just
Oh,
2 or
no,
3,
yeah.
and I was sick for days. It was like I had the
Yeah.
flu. Then I couldn't even stand the smell of smoke. I won't
Yeah.
kiss a guy after they've been smoking. I mean, just cigarettes are disgusting to me.
They are bad.
They're so
Yeah.
gross. They're so gross.
I smoked for a really long time, but now that I don't smoke, I can't stand the smell or
Yeah.
anything of them.
Yeah.
I smoked 3 packs a day.
Holy. Jeez.
Yeah. So that meant I smoked
expensive.
60 cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
Right.
That's wild.
And mostly it was for the breaks at work.
Oh, that
So that's
makes
like
sense.
10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you know what though? This is crazy that you would bring that up because I used to get real resentful
Yeah.
at the smokers because
Yeah.
they had a reason
Yeah.
to go,
You
and
get free
nobody
breaks.
questioned it. You
get
know,
free breaks.
nobody questioned it. I'm in the bathroom watching TikTok, and everybody's wondering where I'm at. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
it.
But everybody's
Yeah.
out back smoking like 10 times.
Yeah.
They got real breaks.
Yeah.
Smokers got real breaks. Not
Yeah, that was definitely an incentive for me at work because I did not like my job. And then I did collect I only smoked Camels. That to me has always been like a Republican, Democrat, Ford, Chevy argument, right? Whether you like Marlboros
Yeah.
or whether you like
Marlboros to that.
Camels.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
what about
totally.
Winston's?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Oh,
forget
no,
about
they're not on the
Winston's.
same level. Not on the same level.
Winston's are there with those.
Nah, I
those
think Winston's a
spirit
man
cigarettes.
cigarette.
Yeah, they're
and
like a
stuff.
step
No,
down.
I think Winston's a man cigarette. You have to have a mullet and like a bush light in your hand for
Yeah, you do.
Winston.
Oh, you know what I liked when I was a little girl? I thought were real sexy. My grandma smoked them. Virginia
Slims.
Oh, yeah, very classy.
Mile long.
cigarette.
Very classy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, super skinny, very long.
Yeah, and they had the 120s.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, huge.
Yeah.
You get like 20 extra cigarette points on that
So
cigarette.
so I collected the Camel Bucks, right?
yeah, the Camel Bucks. I know them.
and
Yeah, I know them well.
My second wife, she smoked as well.
Yeah.
And so we
Holy
got
crap, did y'all get a car?
we got lots of Camel Bucks, right?
Yeah, I bet.
We got all kinds of
I actually
stuff.
have some Camel Buck gear still at home. I have a Camel Buck hat, and then I have a yellow shirt with the Camel logo, and then a pair of like
It wasn't
white
yellow
shorts.
until you started smoking, and then it turned.
Yeah, it
pretty
turned yellow. Yeah, it was yellow after smoking.
So
Shade.
I remember saving it, and you know, this is they talk about how Joe Camel wasn't for kids and all this stuff. I saved up enough Camel Bucks to get a Sega Game Gear, which was a handheld video game system.
Not for kids.
Oh yeah, I remember you
Yeah,
telling
not
me
for
about
kids.
that.
Not
You
for
talked
kids.
about that on the when we
Yeah.
talked about this last.
We
I
got-
couldn't imagine smoking enough cigarettes, and that was like a $300,
It was
$200
pretty
game
expensive,
system.
yeah.
That's a
It
lot
was
of
$200
cigarettes.
or so. And then
All you had to do is quit smoking and save up the money for cigarettes,
No,
and you would have
in
got
1 month.
Yeah, he
doesn't-
would have had
In
it
1 month.
Oh, in 1 month.
It
Yeah.
doesn't work that way. No. This way you got lung cancer and a video game.
2
but
for 1 special.
We
Yeah.
got broken into. Our house got broken into because we left the garage up a little bit, and somebody
yeah.
crawled in, and the only thing they took was the Game Gear.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, that's
nice.
it.
Thanks.
so I figured it was time to stop smoking.
Yeah.
So I hadn't smoked in
Oh, I thought it was
probably
stop playing
25
video
years.
games.
Oh,
It's
good.
been a long time.
Yeah. That's
But
awesome.
I smoked 3 packs a day for a very long time, since I was about 15. All
Golly.
my clothes had little holes in them
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
I
It's
remember
Oh yeah,
that.
smoker
rough.
holes.
Yeah, because whenever you're driving, you know,
Oh, yeah.
you're flicking out the window
Oh,
and it's all
yeah.
coming back on you.
Yeah. I actually one time was behind a cop who was smoking in his cop car and flicked his, and you know I drive convertibles.
Yeah.
You know I'm a convertible driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he flicked a cigarette out and it came right
yeah.
into my, and I called the police
Oh,
station
no.
and they did not care at all. They did not, they weren't going to
Yeah.
reimburse me for the
Yeah, at
hole in my
all.
dress.
Yeah.
They didn't care that he was littering.
No,
They didn't care he was smoking in a police vehicle. They just did not care. Now, had I,
What a strange
You
world
would've been
we
pulled
live
over
in where they
quick.
don't care.
I've actually been pulled over for flicking cigarettes out before, more than once. There's actually 2 or 3 times I've been pulled
No
over. for
way.
it. All they
As
did
you
was
should.
make me.
Littering's terrible.
Yeah, you should. It's terrible. They made me get out and pick it up. That was about as far as they got. They let me make it without getting tickets or
I was
anything.
never pulled over for that.
Hey everybody, it's Rusty with the King of the Hill podcast. Bwaaa. So we are currently trying to win podcast of the year, and we're hoping that you guys could help us out by nominating us on Waco Awards website. If you Google Waco Awards podcast of the year, the hyperlink will pop up for you to click on Google's search. Also, on social media, I've posted about it quite a bit, so you guys can go to all of our social media platforms at Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and I have the link posted there on a few different posts, and help us, at least get nominated. If we can't win, it would be great to at least have a nomination in our first year of podcasting, and we hope that you guys have enjoyed the content and continue to enjoy the content for the rest of the year. Yeah, it's a couple times.
I did one of my proudest moments as a smoker was when I was on the front hood of that truck. I used to work this job where we had a big parking lot. You know where the Skellingtons are now?
Right. Yeah.
It was in that parking lot.
Okay.
Right. My buddy had an old like GMC truck, beat up thing, and but it had a big engine in it. And so one night we got bored, and I strapped myself to the hood of the truck. Thought that was fun. And he was doing donuts right in the parking lot. And then he just stops real quick. I go flying off. I catch myself and shatter my wrist, which I don't know at the time. But the proudest moment was my cigarette stayed in my mouth the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
classy.
Yeah.
Felt really good about myself.
That's classy.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
It's kind of like falling down with your beer in your hand, and you're
That's
like,
right.
and
That's
you
right.
don't spill
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, broke both legs, but I saved my beer.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, give us a little recap of the way you remember this episode, Rusty.
Oh, the way I remember this episode, man, I was young when this episode came out, so I guess I was probably, man, I had to have been 8 or 9 when this episode came. What's the date on it?
97.
Oh yeah, I was
April 27th,
I was 7.
97.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even 7. I was 6 when this episode came out. So
Yeesh.
I don't remember it, I guess, at that point. But I remember as a teenager when I was going back and rewatching a lot of the earlier seasons. Whenever the internet came out, you could go bootleg stuff on the internet. Like I was bootlegging the hell out of King of the Hill because at the time the syndication, when I first started trying to catch back up and rewatch the show from start to finish, the syndication was already at like season 4. So I was like, crap. So I went back and bootlegged seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I remember watching this episode super stoned, like at 2 a.m. And I don't know. It's just a real funny one. It reminds me of like the 90s. It reminds me of everybody smoking everywhere. It reminds me of like Walmart with the full ashtrays.
Yes,
That's what it
in the
reminds me of
shopping
all that
carts.
stuff. And the shopping carts with the ashtrays. Like now you got phone holders and cup holders on your shopping carts. Back then they had ashtrays.
Right.
I remember that. You remember the ashtrays in the McDonald's?
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
talking about. Yeah, the
Little
foil
McDonald's
ones. Yeah, the foil
ashtrays.
ones.
The little
Yeah.
foil ones, yeah.
They had
Yeah.
they
So
had the
gross.
plastic ones to begin with, and then they went to the foil ones.
Probably
Yeah.
because people were like beating each other.
they would steal them.
Oh,
Stealing them.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they were
You'd
cheaper.
You'd
Just
see
like
them
the
a lot.
Whataburger
Right.
numbers.
Of course.
I'm surprised they
Yeah.
haven't went paper with
I'm
those.
surprised they haven't either because you know how many of those I have?
Yeah,
None. I have none because I'm not a thief.
Yeah. Well, when I was in high school, I can neither confirm nor deny the amount of Whataburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're missing a 38 at a Whataburger,
I never
swear
took
it wasn't
one of
me.
those. I never took one of those.
Yeah,
No,
you
you
didn't?
I stole a neon sign off a wall one time,
Oh,
but
nice.
never.
I used to take
never a
trays and
Whataburger
everything.
number.
I used to take trays,
Oh yeah,
salt and pepper shakers. I don't even know why you take salt and pepper shakers.
yeah.
Like,
That's expensive too.
That is
well, it's
expensive.
hard to hide
Yeah.
too, and not break
And they're
it.
big there.
Yeah, it was
Those are big because you
big.
got to be able to see them
Yeah,
from
it was big.
streets away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Totally.
I'm not proud of that, but I bring it up. I don't know what that is.
So most of King of the Hill episodes for me is generally like 2 a.m. stoned and in high school. You
I
know,
like
for a
that.
lot of it. For
I like that.
For a lot of
Same.
the early episodes, like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5.
6,
Well,
7,
not 6,
8,
7, but
9.
around like
Yeah,
season
you know.
5. I went back. Well,
I was a stone teenager
Yeah.
through every season
Yeah.
through every season of King of the Hill, pretty much.
or a
but,
stoned high schooler.
Yeah,
So Bobby gets caught smoking a cigarette,
yeah, he does.
and Hank decides that the proper discipline is to make him smoke a whole carton.
Yeah.
And then not only smoke a whole carton, but then he chastises him for how he's smoking the cigarette.
All
That's
right.
right.
He's
That's
smoking
right.
like a French,
Yeah,
a
he-
European.
Yeah,
Yeah,
European.
European
He's
Nazi.
smoking like a
Yeah, you're
European
smoking like a
Nazi,
European
that's
Nazi.
right.
Yeah.
So the problem is that this initiates the smoking habit again in Hank and Peggy.
Yeah, so that we find out in that episode that Pank and Heggy.
Hank and Peggy.
Oh, Hank and Peggy, sorry. I guess, they grew up in an era where cigarettes were heavy, which is kind of funny because I really would have thought that in the 90s, even this TV show coming out in the late 90s, you would see more. I guess the only one you see smoking is Dale, but you'd figure they'd
Yeah.
have another character or two that were smokers.
Yeah, you would think so, especially
Yeah, like on
but
The
he's only
Simpsons. Do you
one.
remember on The Simpsons they had the real heavy smokers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
a couple. They had
Yeah.
the smokers.
Yeah,
they
lots
had the
of
Krusty the
smokers.
Clown
Yeah,
smoked.
yeah.
yeah.
Principal Skinner, they have a couple episodes where he's smoking. Krabappel smokes. Krabappel always because you always see her.
Yeah.
She's always outside,
That's
out back of
right.
the school, smoking
Sneaking.
a cigarette.
Yeah, sneaking.
So what you're talking about is we get a flashback to a simpler time when
Doctors recommended cigarettes.
Pank and Heggy were playing. They were on the football field. They were playing putt. They were doing all this stuff.
This is
smoking.
this is one of the reasons I love this episode. So you see kind of the juxtaposition of when at the very beginning of the episode, Luann gets real upset because the dog eats her
cruelty-free makeup.
Cruelty-free makeup, right? She gets upset. And when the dog comes in, Hank, what's the dog's name?
Ladybird.
Ladybird, that's right. I don't know how that got past me. Ladybird comes in. Hank is always just super kind and sweet to Ladybird, and look how good you look, and then looks straight up at Luann and just starts chastising her. And that's normally the relationship he has with Peggy too. He's never warm.
Sure.
They're hardly ever warm. There's very few episodes where he's just cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
And in this episode, you see so many layers of Hank that you never see in other episodes.
Yeah, it's a layer. I would agree with that. It's definitely an episode where you see
he's laughing.
some suave about him.
He's laughing.
You
and
never see him laugh.
And he's like bonding with Bobby.
Frolicking.
Yeah. He's taking Peggy on dates.
Yeah.
He's being suave again. Well, that's the thing is when they showed the flashback and they see them all having all this fun.
Yeah.
And with the cigarettes, if you take the cigarettes away, they're still having the same fun.
Right.
But in his mind, he like attaches the cigarettes to the fun. So
Yes.
it's like, let me just, remember the good times we had? And you're sitting there like 80 years old on a breathing machine, remembering when you played putt-putt when you were 20.
So there was an alternate version, and I don't remember whether it was in the one I watched on Hulu or not, but as soon as right after Hank forces Bobby to smoke that whole carton, in the original version, Peggy comes out and screams, "You've stunted his growth." But when it went into syndication, that was removed. I don't know why that would be removed.
I know.
That's so
I don't know
weird.
why either.
Yeah.
I don't know why either. You know what
the
that
one
is?
I saw, she said, I quit smoking so you wouldn't have birth.
That's right.
Yeah,
And then
It's in this episode.
when Hank is telling her, don't worry about Bobby, I took care of his punishment. I made him smoke an entire carton. She's like, oh, did you do that? You're stunning his growth. He'll never grow back.
That's right.
Well, I think the reason, my theory behind the reason why they took that out in that alternate scene is because the cigarette companies, like, they had like somebody
You
like
might
at
be
Fox
right.
or something that was, they were like, oh no, you can't do that. That's not good.
Somebody called Fox and said, we don't need that.
Well, it's not the only episode that like censorship happens like that too, because there's I wouldn't call that censorship. That's probably just like an edit, but there's actually our Monday episode that we discussed is actually in Britain they banned that episode because of domestic violence and stuff. And,
really?
Because Leanne gets drunk. Like
Oh,
Luann's
the
mom
one-
gets drunk and throws
Leanne.
bottles and stuff like that. Luann's mom.
Yeah.
I love Luann's mom.
Oh yeah, she's wild
is
as
one of
hell.
my
Yeah, I like that
She's
episode too.
ridiculous.
I love her.
It's a good one.
So the Hills again, they start picking up this this habit, and they attend a cigarinders.
Cigarinders. It's so funny.
That is funny. Yeah,
It's-
like a Cigarette Anonymous class.
Yeah.
It is the cigarinders at the let's see, where were they? They were at the Hotel Arlen.
Oh, the Hotel
Yeah,
Arlen.
Hotel
Brown
Arlen.
chicken.
Well, Hotel Arlen also is a place where you could find the hookers with
Right.
cotton.
Yeah.
Cotton Hill, where he was
Cotton.
standing in the
Pick
lobby.
one out.
Yeah.
Pick one out. Yeah.
It's just- so they go to this cigarinders meeting, the whole family. It's a family meeting.
Yeah.
They end up going. Hank gets really ticked off, and they end up leaving.
Well, he gets ticked off because they're basically accusing him of child abuse.
That's
They're like,
true.
you shouldn't be a father.
That's
and
right.
he's
Oh
like,
yeah. He's getting
That's right.
upset. Yeah.
So they go home and they're trying to do the cold turkey.
Yeah. And
which
here comes Luann.
I don't know if any of you have ever done the cold turkey on cigarettes or anything
Not
like
on
that.
cigarettes.
Well, yeah. I guess. It is. It's not great.
I've heard.
It's not great. Yeah, it's rough.
I have seen
cigarettes
people
was
suffer.
pretty rough. Cigarettes was rough. I actually quit cigarettes and I started dipping to quit smoking cigarettes. And
So you-
dipping was 3 times the worst habit because I would end up with a floorboard with you'd
you
have
get
like a
those
half
spit
a spit
bottles.
bottle
Yeah.
sitting around. I'd have a couple.
are gross.
Like it was like
I have drank one.
literally, it was only like 2 or 3 sitting around, and I was like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm done. And I was like, took
Yeah.
it out, threw the can away, and that's. I guess that's cold turkey. I went cold turkey off of nicotine, but I couldn't go cold turkey off of cigarettes. I had to find a substitute for cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then the substitute sucked. It wasn't a good enough substitute, so it was just real easy to quit.
When the last time that I quit, because you quit several times.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Everyone.
yeah. And I mean, you don't quit unless you really want to or something's
Unless it's-
happening or
unless it's
whatever,
pot.
you know.
Then you never quit.
But they had the little, you remember the little snuff packets?
Yeah.
They were like
Yeah,
little
yeah.
things.
Snus.
Snus. That's what it was called. Yeah.
It was
Snooze
Yeah.
is
Snooze.
what it's technically
Yeah,
called.
they're like
yeah.
little
So,
camel.
yeah, I tried
flavored
those.
camel snoozes.
I tried those, and those suck ass.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't like those.
You
at
get a
all.
good
Those
like
are
nicotine
terrible.
rush from them, but like still for me, a lot of the cigarette thing was like the oral fixation of like picking
Yeah.
something up and putting it to your
Yeah.
mouth kind of thing.
I still, I'll find myself with a pen the same way.
Oh yeah, my
sometimes.
hands. It's real. It's real hard for me to keep
And
my hands.
every
not doing
once in a
something.
while, like if I walk past somebody smoking, it will smell good. But
Yeah.
like 9 times
Oh,
out of
yeah.
10, it smells terrible. But every once in a while, it's like,
It's
"Oop, there
okay.
it
See,
is."
for me, it's like if I smell it very faintly,
Yeah.
and like off in the distance, it smells like everything good in life.
Yeah.
But if it's like right on top of you and you're got it like
Yes.
in your like blowing towards you and everything, it'd make me sick.
Yeah, it's
So
gross.
the other thing I want to bring up is the no-no can in this.
The no-no can.
Oh yeah.
So there's a no-no can.
Yes,
There's a
there
no-no can. Yeah,
is.
there is.
I bring this up a lot with younger kids, which everyone here is younger than me. But I always threaten them that I'm going to get the no-no can and start shaking it at them when
no-no
they don't
can.
straighten up.
Just a can
Like
of
your
beans.
actual children?
Well, no. Like
Oh, in
any
here.
Of the, any
Oh,
of
in
the people
here.
who
Yeah,
work
yeah,
here.
yeah. Gotcha,
I'll say it
gotcha.
to Corey. But they never know what I'm talking about. But the no-no can is just a can, like a
a can of
coffee
beans
can
or
with
something, a can of
beans
change or
or
whatever,
change
yeah.
or something. And
Ooh, change would
Luann-
be way scarier than beans.
Yeah, Luann uses it to scare Ladybird away from her cruelty-free
Like
makeup.
imagine like nickels, like a nickels in a
Yeah.
no-no can.
Yeah, nickels would be tough.
Yeah.
That's a big.
Yeah, it'd be really,
That's
really
a heavy
loud.
currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when they go back to the house to try to make it through the storm, Luann starts shaking the
Shaking
no-no
it
can.
again, yeah.
Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah.
an effective tool, right?
I guess
Yeah, it
is,
works.
Yeah, I've heard for cats.
Oh, dogs too. I mean,
Dogs?
well, yeah. Have you ever heard of like spanking a dog with a newspaper?
Yeah.
It's not because it hurts.
Yeah.
It's because it makes a loud sound.
Yeah.
And so that sound freaks them out. Think about it. If you
Yeah.
were like doing something naughty, you knew you weren't supposed to be doing it, and somebody came behind you and you're like, "Cha-cha!"
Yeah.
It would scare you from. It'd stop your behavior.
That's why sirens are so loud.
Duh,
Is that what
yeah,
it is?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's
we're
it.
like putting all kinds of things together today. We're making connections.
That's right. All through the magic of animation. So they end up going through a big storm, and this is the whole family in the bed. The storm is terrible, whipping through Arlen, and it's kind of a symbol of
Yeah.
what they're going through as a
Yeah.
family. Finally, Peggy's the one that makes the break, throws the cigarettes out the window.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the next morning they wake up and the birds are singing and everything's great. Like that.
Yep.
That's not the way things happen, but sure.
But sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
magic of animation, I guess. I don't know. It's a great episode because it shows some humanity in all three of them. Not
Yeah,
so
it
much
does,
Bobby,
actually.
I guess,
Yeah.
but Hank and Peggy definitely, because like you say, you never see them actually enjoying
Right.
life. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Now, I would like to bring up Smokey's Cafe.
Oh yeah.
Smokey's Cafe, yeah.
They go to their old hangout, Smokey's Cafe, and now the smoking section has been moved to a room with a closed door.
Yep.
Smokey's dead.
Smokey's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, Smokey's.
the
Yeah.
cancer got him. And it is the saddest place I've ever seen.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
It
old-
Yeah.
reminds me of everywhere
withered.
I ever ate at as a kid because my parents smoked cigarettes. So whenever we were out eating anywhere, it was always smoking section. But my dad really didn't even like to go out to eat anyway.
Yeah.
But my parents felt like they needed to give us the experience of eating out, which I don't understand it. But they felt like they needed to give us the experience of eating out. So when we would go out to eat, it was smoking section, and it was like while we were eating our food, my dad was like, check. So like the second everybody was done eating, he'd already paid for the food. So it was
No
like,
way, he's
we were
out of
gone.
there.
Yeah, we were gone.
That's funny.
I don't
Yeah.
doubt that.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's what it's funny because I find myself now like I don't really like I'd rather eat at home and like a nice home cooked meal, but like my wife always wants to go out to eat and stuff like that. So we go out to eat somewhere and it's like I'm like, hey, check. I'm like, I'm still halfway through my meal and I'm like, hey, can I get the check, please?
Man, I'll sleep in a restaurant. I love restaurants.
I do too.
It's my
I don't know
favorite,
why,
man. I'll just stay there forever.
Yeah. Like a really nice,
Yeah.
good one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, where they're bringing you courses and wines.
Like if you've got people at the table and just having that conversation and stuff. I mean, I feel bad for the waiters and things.
I
but
tip well. I never feel bad
Yeah.
for the waiter because I'm a really good tipper. I'm
Yeah.
like over tipper. It's stupid.
What do you tip?
Oh,
Like what's your percentage?
50 to 100, depending
Really?
on how good it was. Yeah, depending
Holy
on how good it was. But I am like legitimately, if I go to Slow Rise and I have $10 salad, if my total's $10, I'm tipping $10. Never under
Wow.
$10. Never under $10.
See, I felt good at 25%.
Yeah, and you should.
Oh, I did the same thing.
You
I tip
honestly
pretty good.
should, but I've been in the service industry my
Yeah, it's
entire
true.
life. And
That's
so I really,
true.
really appreciate good service.
Yeah.
So if I walk in and somebody recognizes me, I'm like, if like the waitress recognizes me, when I go to Bangkok Royale,
Yeah.
every time I go there, they know my order, they know my name.
Yeah.
I don't even have to ask. They know who I'm coming in with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that means so much to me.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
huge deal to me.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah,
So-
that is a big deal.
I love
yeah.
stuff like that.
My mom, she was in the service industry. Well, she still is in the service industry, but that's what she did, the food service, her whole life. She was like a cook, and then she did wait staff and stuff like that. So she's a good tipper, but she's super critical.
Oh, I'm critical too.
Super
Yeah,
critical.
yeah.
So like,
what do you do if they don't? If
well,
your
my mom
service isn't
starts with a
good?
dollar amount. Because see, what my mom does is her tipping technique is she starts with a certain dollar amount, like you say, like $50. She starts with a certain dollar amount, and if the service like gets worse as she slowly goes down to what the tip she feels like is worth. And this is somebody who's done it for 50. She's been in the food service industry
Yeah.
for 50 years, so she starts up and then she like
Yeah.
works it down. Like, okay, so. Well, it's not that busy.
And
She'll
she
take
didn't ask
everything
if
to
we
the
need
counter.
drinks. Yeah.
She'll take everything like around into like account.
Yeah.
Like if it's super busy, she's not going to be super critical. But like if it's just like we're the only ones eating there and there's like empty drinks.
And they're back on their phones.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Seinfeld episode where, not Jerry, but the short Costanza?
Yeah, George.
Yeah, George. He puts a stack of $1 bills on
Yeah.
the table, and when the waitress
Yeah.
comes over, he says, "This is your tip." You know, and then he
Yeah.
starts taking away, or he'll put it back. You know, so.
I just can't imagine doing that to somebody.
Oh no, I never could either. I never could either.
Not letting them be knowledgeable
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
No, I could
Right.
do it like in my head.
It just seems so
But-
demeaning, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
it
yeah,
seems so. So I can't even imagine at this point in my life living in a world where there are smoking sections.
Let me tell you a story of
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Please. Oh,
Okay.
Kentucky.
Yeah, well, you have on your Cincinnati shirt.
Oh, there you go.
So
There
let's
you
just
go.
talk about
Yeah.
right across the bridge over in Kentucky. There's this little bitty town. There's like 30,000 people there, but it has a super hoppin' nightlife. And I can't remember the name of the town, but
Right.
just inside of Kentucky. Well, at the very end of their little strip, there's this restaurant that has a smoking section in it. And you want to sit in the smoking section because there's this jukebox that has these little guys that play the drums and the cymbals.
Oh,
so
wait,
they're
there's
little
like-
puppets.
Like little puppets?
Yeah, they're little puppets that play music if you put money in. And the
Oh my
jukebox is
gosh.
at your table.
Oh, yeah. I remember
that's
those.
crazy.
So
I've
cool.
never
And then
seen
there's
them.
this little box up in the corner. So you had to sit in the smoking section if you wanted to enjoy the puppets.
Wow.
Oh, that's kind of
And you
weird.
enjoyed the puppets.
Yeah, Mike,
Yeah. I know.
you know that I,
know.
enjoyed
I
the
get
puppets.
it.
You
Yeah.
know I enjoyed
Yeah.
the puppets.
I knew you enjoyed the puppets.
You know I did.
Sure.
You know
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
So-
I think I would drive there just to see that.
Listen, I love Cincinnati. I was surprised at how much I like Cincinnati, but I had a good time there.
Yeah.
The food culture's weird. They
Yeah,
put-
with the spaghetti and the
yeah,
chili.
chocolate.
Yeah, it's weird.
just not.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I don't want any
You-
part of that.
I think, speaking of puppets, I think you were gone when we did the adult puppet show at the old place. Have I ever told you about that?
No, I would have dug that so
we did,
hard.
We did an adult puppet
That would have been
show.
great. Yeah,
I would've
I wish
dug
I would have
that
known about it
so
too.
hard.
It was Aaron.
He just got salty. Like I wasn't invited to the party either.
I don't think I was
Mike,
around then.
It
I
was
don't think I
before I
started.
knew
Yeah,
you.
it was
even-
before I
Yeah,
started.
Before I knew you. So we had an adult puppet show. It was Aaron and I. We were the puppets.
yeah.
We had a whole puppet theater in the corner. We had a comedian. We had a band. And so the puppets were the hosts, right? And we brought on a comedian. He got a little blue. The puppets got mad. And then you would bring on the band, and then the comedian would try it again. He would get really blue. Then the puppets would get really mad.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was a whole evening.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
We had that. We had an 80s prom.
Oh, yeah. I love 80s proms. And you know that I'll dress up for any occasion. Any occasion.
We had a sheet cake, so
yeah.
That's worth it.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Oh, sheet
Totally.
cake?
Was
Yeah,
there-
that is worth it.
Sheet
I'd be
cake.
Was
there- I'd be
there
there for that.
spiked punch?
I don't know if there was spike punch. I was the principal at
Oh,
this.
I would love to be the dance monitor at a thing like this.
Aaron was the janitor.
Oh.
He had a jumpsuit and
I
a
like
mop and the whole thing.
Yeah,
I would get
yeah.
up and make announcements every once in a while. You know, it was wonderful.
That's so great.
We had a fun time. Yeah,
it
was
sounds
good.
like it.
We had a good time.
That is
All
funny.
right. So the way this sucker ends is all the hills have kicked cigarettes
Yep.
magically overnight.
They're done
because
with them.
the storm went past them. And then we get through the credits, and then we get a lesson from Boomhauer.
Oh, boom! Yes.
Boomhauer
Boomhauer.
tells us through
Yeah.
through the use of visual medium, a car filter, how our lungs are going to get really bad if we use cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really great topper
Yeah.
on the end of a really good episode.
It
It is.
is.
No, it's a great episode. I love it.
is. Yeah.
All right. So any more recollections, cigarettes, King of the Hill,
Oh man.
any of that?
No, I would. You know, I feel like I know that y'all probably talk about this on more than one episode so far.
Sure.
But I mean, can we give just like special tribute to Brittany Murphy?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah,
can't
for
we
sure.
just say?
Yeah,
like,
we say that. We've said that more than once. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. She's
Yeah.
one of the best voice actors.
she is.
Like,
She's great.
Really
She was-
iconic voice actor.
She was fantastic, and you know we've talked several times about they're talking about rebooting King of the Hill,
Oh,
and what do
who
you do?
would do? Yeah, who
Well,
would do Brittany Murphy?
You think about it. Brittany's dead. Tom Petty's dead.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, you've lost
Some
a
good
big part of the
ones.
cast,
Yeah.
right? So you've lost Lucky and Luann.
Yeah.
So what do? Did they move away? Do you get somebody to kind of sound like them?
I don't know.
So it
there's no way if they rebooted and brought in another Luann, I wouldn't watch it.
well,
Luann would have to have tragically died in a car accident or something, or you know, I don't know.
that's what. See, that was my take on it. We did a whole episode about this.
What
one
would
of the
happen?
Friday
Like
episode.
a what if episode? Yeah,
I said most of them are dead. And
that's what I would think
I
too.
think-
So
I
we're
don't know.
rebooting in like 2045.
well, and
No,
that's-
the reboot would be because you got to think the show is in the '90s. So even if it's like 20 years, it's the
Oh, it's
'90s
like-
was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Hey, watch your mouth, okay?
Hey, I mean,
Watch your
I'm
mouth,
feeling it. You know what I
sir.
mean? I'm feeling it.
He was like, I was 7 when this episode came out. And I was like, you
Yeah.
know
Oh,
what?
I'm still
Screw
feeling
you.
it.
I was pregnant when this episode came out.
I had children. I had children. Yeah, that's right.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not long after though.
We had talked about how everybody was dead, and now it was Bobby's show, basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it
and
would be
he was-
Bobby
he
being
was
the,
Hank.
would
He
be
was Hank.
Yeah.
He's married to Connie.
He's married to Connie?
Yeah, all of that stuff, right? I think you have a show there, but we called it the Dark Timeline because basically everybody's dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Well.
I mean, Dale's probably the only one that's alive.
Yeah, he should be.
Right, because it's
you
very
gotta have-
ironic.
yes,
Yeah, uh-huh.
totally,
I think-
totally, very ironic.
I think Bill probably choked on a 72-ounce steak that he was trying to finish to get a free T-shirt or something. You
Yeah,
know,
something
kind
like
of
that.
thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And Cotton, of course, has to be gone.
Yeah,
But
he has to
man,
be
I
dead.
love Cotton.
I love him too.
Wouldn't
and
it
I
be cool if he
think-
came back as a ghost?
Well, this is what
That
this
would be
is.
cool.
This
Like
is
Darth
what I
Vader.
Yeah.
suggested. So this is what I had suggested
He'd
to
have
Mike
to
for
have
that.
legs.
So it would be.
Oh, he have his whole legs. That's right.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
reunited with his shins.
Yeah.
in
So,
heaven.
what we had suggested too, it would be like Buck Strickland and Cotton Hill on Bobby's shoulder for like the devil on one side, and then the other side would be Hank. So he would have them two in one ear, and then Hank in the other
That's
ear.
actually
yeah.
a genius idea. So
That's
you
what I
could
would
still
think would
bring
be
him
cool.
back.
Yeah, so you
could
can still have
bring
him there.
Mike
That's good.
Judge has said if they do it, that it will be the characters at their current age.
Okay.
So they would actually
yeah.
age everybody.
Okay, good.
Which would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I say, whatever. I mean, if they can bring back Beavis and Butthead, they can certainly bring back King of the Hill.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Summer, you want to tell us about you real quick and what all you're doing? And,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's much to tell right now. Just living the dream. Go head on down to Luna Juice Bar, get yourself a
Luna Juice
and a
Bar.
smoothie.
There you
They're
go.
absolutely delicious. You can find
When
us
did you
at the
when did you
Silos.
start it?
2013.
2013.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's been around for a long time.
It's been around for a hot minute.
Huh.
And then also,
And you're at Chip and Joe's Silos.
we're at the Silos. We
Very
have
cool.
a food truck there. It looks like a watermelon. It's the cutest little
Very
food truck you've
nice.
ever seen in your life. So you should scoot on over there.
I will.
And,
There you go. Get
one.
on over there.
I got to go.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. See you later.
Just hear the door.
There's a
Rushing
long line
out.
right now. See
Yeah, I
ya.
bet there is.
Yeah. So, and then I moonlight over at Lake Airport Supply. I sell hot tubs.
Yeah.
And it's great. I love selling hot tubs.
What a
It's fun.
great combination.
is.
Yeah,
That
it
is
really
awesome.
is. It really is because like you
tubs
can
and a
like
juice bar.
work in all the wellness stuff,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like- so they actually do.
That's great.
Want to look good in this hot tub?
Oh,
well, let me
yeah.
tell you.
Let me get you a juice cleanse.
Let me get you a juice cleanse.
Get you a juice
Okay.
cleanse.
Let's get juicy. Let's get
Yeah.
wet and juicy. Hey,
Great.
was I allowed to say that? Was
Yeah,
that-
you say whatever the hell you want. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll make a little quirk and I'll see Mike go,
Again, available at the Silos.
yeah.
There you go.
One time he was like, I just got a contract with Baylor, so you're going to need to shut up, Summer.
No, we're good. We're all good. Summer, I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Yeah, I
here.
appreciate it.
This was
Thank
so
you.
much fun. I
Yeah.
love
Thank
it.
you
Thank
so
you
much.
for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for us, huh? That's it.
Bwaaa.
It's another Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
What do you say?
Wimatanya.
There, Wimatanya. Indeed.
Wimatanya.
Goodbye.